May I come in, sir?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Tanmay, this is your first interview?
Yes,
first
sir.
attempt?
Yes, sir.
You look taller for your 21 years of
Yes,
age.
sir.
22 years of age, huh?
I've often heard that.
Huh?
Often heard that.
Often heard that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. You think you walked into your college canteen?
No, sir.
Nobody asked you to sit down.
I'm sorry, sir.
No, just take it easy.
Yes.
We'll tell you, since this is your first interview,
Yes.
is it your first mock also?
So second mock.
Second mock?
Yes, sir.
Did you do the same thing in the first mock?
I think so, sir.
And nobody pointed it out to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyway, we are there to support you,
Yes. Thank you,
right?
sir.
And not to
I'm so sorry, sir.
not to confuse you.
I'm so sorry.
No, not at all. Okay, that's perfectly all right. So Tanmay, just give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Yes, sir. I am from Nagpur, Maharashtra. I have done my graduation in BA Honours Philosophy from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University in 2022. After that, I have been preparing for the civil services exam. I like reading, I like learning languages, and I am also a fan of Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. And you have chosen your optional with such care that most of us cannot ask you a question.
No, sir.
The Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Why only Dostoevsky and nobody else?
I recently
Maybe
discovered.
Tolstoy or somebody.
Yes, sir. I recently discovered Dostoevsky because of my graduation subject, because he's closer to the existential school of philosophy, and I really liked how he explored the themes of humanity within his texts, within his novels,
Okay.
psychological depth that he went to.
Okay. Uh, More mundane question. That is, you could have pursued higher education, you could have excelled in academics, and what makes you think, what makes you aspire to be a civil servant?
I did want to do a higher degree, but I decided that I need to give a full-time attention to this exam first, and after that, if I do not, for any unforeseen circumstance, don't get into it, I can always pursue my higher degree.
Okay. So you have a plan B ready.
Yes, sir.
But why do you want to join? Motivation. What do you want to achieve here in this service?
So civil services is the perfect platform to develop my personal and professional abilities, while it also provides me a way to serve the public, to in effect do something for the society from which I come from.
Boss, have you heard that all civil servants are called generalists?
Yes, sir.
In this specialized world, what will you do? You will end up as a generalist, good for nothing.
Sir, I don't think. I think that even generalists have a specialization that they do, that they undertake while they are being moved from one department to another, because it's the specialization in public administration, it's the specialization in public interaction. That's what they achieve in their long career.
Okay. I have two small questions. What is the Kashmir connection with Sanskrit literature?
So it's believed that Adi Shankaracharya wrote his texts, wrote his commentaries on the Shruti Granths in Kashmir, Sharda Peeth. And of course, the more famous one is Raj Tarangini of Kalhan, which is in Sanskrit and is described as the first historical text of India.
No, Raj Tarangini by Kalhan, I understand. But वो एक कहते हैं ना, सूर सूर तुलसी ससी उड़गन केशव दास कि anyway, सूर सूर सूरदास सूर्य थे, सूर सूर तुलसी ससी कि तुलसीदास चंद्र थे. तो how come that from Kashmir we don't hear of any other name other than Kalhan? There must be contemporaries. अगर गालिब थे तो मीर और तकी भी तो थे. So why not in Kashmir that tradition?
Sir, there are actually quite a few authors in Sanskrit who are from Kashmir. I can name them. There is Bilhan, who wrote the very famous Chaur Panchavinshika. There is the most famous Sanskrit poetic critic who is known as Anand Vardhan, who gave the theory of Dhwani, which is now the accepted form of, which is now the accepted definition of what a poetry is. And there were others like I'm forgetting the names.
Okay, perfect, excellent. Now my last question.
Yes.
Which are two important biospheres next to your city?
So, biospheres and biosphere reserves, or
Yep. Okay. You okay? Let's talk not the biospheres. Let's talk of the abhyaranyas or the sanctuaries.
So there are quite a few because Nagpur is known as the tiger capital. There is the Boar Sanctuary, there is a Pench, there is Kanha, there is Navegaon Nagzira, there is the Tipeshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. All of these are close to my hometown.
And the most famous.
Tadoba Andheri.
You forgot about it. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you, Chairman. Tanmay, you come from Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
And I find in your depth that you have prioritized IPS as number 6.
Yes, sir.
You have a good physique, you're tall. Why is that and befitting to this particular prestigious service? Why have you given 6th as the priority to police?
Sir, it has less to do with why I chose police as the 6th one and more to do with why I chose the other services above, because I think I have better temperament to suit the audit and the revenue service.
And what is that temperament which doesn't fit into police paradigm?
Sir, the qualities like of being able to analyze numbers.
So the policeman doesn't analyze?
Analyze numbers, sir, not the human condition.
Well, be more specific. Tell me frankly speaking, tell me why.
I really believe that.
But I'm not very satisfied with your answer.
Sir, I chose audit and the revenue services above because I felt those were my kind of services.
Well, every service has a contribution to the nation's
Yes,
growth.
sir.
And you can't undermine one service vis-a-vis the other.
No, sir. I'm just saying that I personally felt that it was better for me.
Okay. Now, your father is an own business.
Yes, sir.
And what business is he in?
So he is in construction management. He owns the poke lanes and the JCBs, and he gives them on hire.
Does he file his income tax return?
What?
Does he file his income
Yes,
tax
sir.
returns?
He does, sir. He does.
Okay. And what bracket does he come in?
So in the top bracket of the 30%.
Top bracket. All right. So can you throw some light on the taxation policy of India and the recent one, the salient features of the recent taxation policy?
Yes.
I'm talking about direct tax policy.
Yes, sir. So there are three or four direct taxes in India. The first is the income tax, which is levied on individuals and self-proprietors and partnership firms. Those fall into, there have now been two regimes of income tax. One is the old tax regime and the new tax regime. The new tax regime has rationalized the old tax regime and given more tax slabs to fit the commensurate incomes. And
But hasn't that this intervening? Sorry, but hasn't that this new regime and the old regime has created a kind of a confusion amongst the taxpayers as to what to choose and what not to choose?
Sir, actually, the new tax regime is the default, so the taxpayer does not have to choose. It's only if they want to use the old tax regime that they have to choose. Otherwise, the new tax regime is the default.
Good.
And
what does the new taxation policy say so?
The new tax regime says that if you do not want to take exemptions which were available under the old tax regime, then you can use the new tax regime and the tax rates will be lower, like 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, and 30%.
And what is the present slabs in the new tax regime?
5, 10, 15, 20 and 30. In the old it was 5, 10, 20, 5, 20, 30.
Okay, and what are the other direct taxes you were talking about?
So the other taxes were, one is the corporate tax, which is levied on
So that's part of the taxation policy. That's income tax, the corporate tax, the individual tax. But you said there are other taxes, direct taxes as well.
Yes, sir. There is a securities transaction tax which is levied on transactions of shares and bonds. There is the wealth tax which has been abolished now. I am forgetting the other names.
That's all right. Now, think it over and give an answer. Three prominent personalities from Maharashtra that has shaped your life.
So the first would be Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who has shaped my life in the form that he has made me more self-aware and also one for freedom. The second would be Tukaram, Sant Tukaram, because of the way he integrated all the communities and the various divisions that were present in the society into one inclusive whole under the Bhakti movement. The third would be Dr. B.R.
And how has this shaped your personality?
Sant Tukaram has shaped my personality because he has made me aware that there still are cultural differences and societal differences that I need to overcome in order to be a better person. Because he was considered a saint, so I tried and emulate him in that way. The third would be Dr. B.R. Ambedkar because of his contribution to Indian society, and he has shaped my way. He has shaped my life because with B.R. Ambedkar, I understood the importance of education. He was a highly educated man, and he did something for India which is still remembered. And I would like me to not be as good as him, but definitely try and
All
go
right,
somewhere.
thank you.
Just carrying on this conversation about Maharashtra. Independence struggle, first war of independence. When was it?
The first war of independence is 1857, sir.
Any known freedom fighter who contributed from Maharashtra in that war of independence?
So Tatya Tope was one, and Nana Peshwa was another one.
How did they contribute?
Nana Peshwa fought a war with the British in Kanpur. He was instrumental in fighting, in instigating a guerrilla war in those areas, and later when the British started fighting back, he fled to Nepal and continued his war from there.
You have taken up French also,
Yes, sir.
but you have opted for foreign service as your second choice.
Yes, sir.
Can you correlate?
Sir, I decided that there were actually personal reasons for choosing IAS as the first preference because my parents wanted me to be in the country and not go outside. I personally, in my opinion, I would serve in both administrative and foreign services in the same way. But because of those personal reasons, I decided to quote IAS as my first preference.
Supposing you are posted as a collector in Nagpur, what are the priorities from social upliftment of the deprived segments you would like to pursue?
So there will be three-pronged strategy. First would be for the upliftment of beggars and homeless because that's a growing problem in Nagpur, and for that I would help in the formation of shelters and using the PMAY, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, I would try and allot them homes. The second would be with regards to women's safety. Although Nagpur is considered one of the safest cities, but there has been a growing trend of crime against women. So for that, I would initiate a series of community participative events like Nukkad Nataks, like allowing people to understand what violence against women is. Like in that way, the third major strategy would be for the upliftment of Adivasis in Nagpur. Because the ST community forms a major part of the adjoining areas, there is a major influx of STs in Nagpur who are regularly not held a part of the administration. So I will take measures that would lead to an overall development of the ST community.
My last question, what steps would you initiate in the health sector?
So in Nagpur, or
Yes.
Nagpur is considered as the center point for a lot of other adjoining areas because was the capital of CP and Bira. With regards health, I would promote a more strict approach against doctors who are practicing privately while being in government service. I would use the government schemes like Anemia Mukt Bharat and Sickle Cell elimination program to enable the disadvantaged communities to exercise their right to health. And I would also improve the infrastructure, which is right now being neglected.
Thank you.
¿Cómo se va, Tanmay?
¿Cómo sabes? Je vais bien.
Ça va bien. Ça va bien.
Oh, oui.
I see that you have chosen literature of Sanskrit language, but you have a hobby of reading and memorizing spiritual Sambodhi and Dhampada. You come from the Jain community.
Yes,
so, are these books, Sambodhi and Dhammapada, both Jain texts?
No, sir. Sambodhi is a Jain text, while Dhammapad is a Buddhist text.
Okay. And you can read the Sanskrit which is there in the original text of these
Yes,
two?
sir, I can.
Is that Sanskrit text different from the classical Sanskrit text?
Yes, sir, it's different. It was written in the 20th century by a Jain monk named Acharya Mahapragya. He wrote it in the form of a Jain Gita. Like in Gita, there is a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjun. Here, there is a dialogue between Lord Mahavir and his disciple Megh Kumar.
And he has written it in Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
Because you have taken literature of Sanskrit language, tell me 3 of the most favorite Niti Shloka that you like.
Yes, sir. So one is Agya hai Sukh Maradhya, Sukhtar Maradhyate Visheshagya hai, Satu Tatra Vishesh Dur.
Okay, forget it. I will narrate one and you tell me this, the answer, the meaning. It's very simple and the Niti Shlokas are the simplest ones. Yauvanam dhan sampatte prabhutvam abhivekita ekaikamapyanarthaya kimuyatra chatushtayam.
So can you repeat?
Yauvanam dhan sampatte prabhutvam avivekita ekaikamapyanarthaya kimuyatra chatushtayam.
So there are 4 things which can individually cause a man to lose his calm or a woman.
No, you're not catching the exact meaning. Yauvan, dhan sampatti, prabhutva or avivekita. each one of them is cause for vinash. जहाँ चारों एक साथ हों वहाँ कहना ही क्या. Okay? Which is the shlok which is at the basic principle or motto of Indian foreign policy? What is the motto of Indian foreign policy?
I do not remember.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Which is the quote?
अयम निजः परो वेति गणना लघुचेतसाम उदार चरितानाम तु वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्.
Okay, you have got the tenor as to in which direction I am going. Very simple niti shlokas, very meaningful niti shlokas. Give me 2 more examples of such shloka.
Yes, sir. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्.
1 second. विद्या ददाति विनयम, विनयात् दाति पात्रताम, पात्रत्वात् धनमाप्नोति, धनात् धर्मः तथा सुखम. क्या मतलब है इसका?
So that humility, knowledge gives humility. With humility comes.
हिंदी में बोलिए, if it is better.
So, विद्या से विनय मिलता है, विनय से पात्रता आती है, पात्रता से. So, can you repeat this?
You don't remember this?
I don't remember this.
Oh, then forget it. You have opted for IFS as a second choice, which is very good. But tell me, how much do you know about India-Canada relationship these days?
So, India-Canada relationship has deteriorated a lot because of the Pannu Khajjar incident, because of the Canadian government giving refuge to the Khalistani movement. India has.
What is the genesis of this problem? It is not a recent happening.
No, sir.
How long has it been? What is the genesis of this issue?
So the genesis is that a lot of Sikh migrants from India have settled in Canada.
Which is the decade in which most of them went?
1970s.
80s, after the killing of Indira Gandhi.
Okay, sir. 1980s. So after the settlement of Sikh migrants in Canada and the growing resentment against the Indian government and the Punjab.
Okay, move on. Another point.
So they instigated a Khalistani movement from abroad, which made the Indian government.
Okay, what else? There is some important part you are missing.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, you're unable to.
They have become politically active and they have become part of the ruling coalition.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, Tanmay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Literature of Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
Sanskrit. What do you think? Is it a living language or a dead language?
So it's a living language. There are 3 considerations to consider a language living or dead. First is that there should be speakers of the language. The speakers of Sanskrit have not declined. From the last census, there has been a 50% increase in the speakers of Sanskrit. There should be magazines and periodicals which should be released in the language, which is happening in Sanskrit. There are a lot of periodicals like Sanskrit Manjari, like Sanskrit Bharati's quarterly. And the third is that there should be literature being written in the language, and which is also very true for Sanskrit, like the Janki Haranam, like Sambodhi and other texts are being written in the Sanskrit language even now. So I think it's a living language.
Okay, Tanmay, you are from Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
Vidarbha region. What are the major problems faced by Vidarbha region?
So I would like to quote 3 reasons. The first is the Naxalism, which is prevalent still in the Gadchiroli Gondia belt. The second is the problem of farmer suicides, because that has been growing ever since the 2000s in Yavatmal and Chandrapur districts. The third is the lack of recognition of forest rights of the STs who are residing in Vidarbha.
Okay, and what kind of policies are being implemented to solve these problems which you just mentioned?
So the Maharashtra government's Jal Yukta Shivar Abhiyan 2 has been launched so that farmers get a remunerative price for their crop by helping them in the irrigation process. Naxalism has been fought by the Samadhan doctrine of Ministry of Home Affairs, and forest rights. There are ongoing activists and negotiations with the government, like between the Search NGO of Dr. Abhay Bang and the government, who have which has helped in the saturation of rights to the last mile, enabling an inclusive development.
Do you want to any more policies to this?
Sir, Vidarbha as a region has been developing because of a lot of investment being put in. Like there is the Mihan SEZ, there is the Samruddhi Mahamarg which has been started, and Nagpur itself has developed a metro system. So all these policies are helping connect Vidarbha with the other parts of Maharashtra and with itself.
Okay, then my last question. Are you aware about theory of karma? What
Yes,
is
sir,
it?
I am. So theory of karma says that one sows what one reaps. So if I am doing a bad deed, it will come and bite me back either in this life or in afterlife, according to various philosophical systems.
What's the role of God if everything is according to karma?
Sir, so in philosophies where there is a concept of karma, there is no God. Like in Jainism, there is no God. But some philosophies try and
Can karma be without God?
yes, sir, karma can be without God, because then it just becomes a self-serving system where one gets the result consequences of one's actions through the system of karma instead of the God.
Okay, Tanmay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Tanmay, this brings us to the end of your formal interaction with us,
Yes, sir.
right? And since this is your first mock,
Second one.
you said, sorry, my fault. And this is first UPSC interview.
Yes, sir.
How do you think it went compared to your first mock?
It went horribly, sir. It went horribly.
It went horribly.
Yes.
What makes you think that your performance was horrible or below par by your standards?
I couldn't remember the basics. I felt that I was using filler words a lot. I didn't have the language to cope with the questions. Yes, sir.
Okay, so part of the problem you know, right? But here we will discuss with you.
Yes.
You are a very young person. One, remember, this interaction is not about judging your knowledge.
Okay, sir.
Mains have done it. Your result is sealed. So that is over.
At a young age, in the first attempt, you have crossed the maze. Your knowledge is tested.
So what you need to understand by this is that you must be proud of what you have achieved so far. And you must be, that should give you confidence. There are people who take several attempts to reach where you have reached in the first go. So that should reflect in your persona.
Okay, sir.
That confidence is not reflecting
Okay, sir.
through your body language, whereas you should. You come from the creamy layer, right? You got education at the best of schools. You have cracked in the first go. What else you want? So that should reflect on your person.
Yes, sir.
So that should. And remember, we are just interacting, and what we are looking for. We are looking for a confident person who knows what he or she is doing or saying. Is there a conviction in whatever is said? Is there a reasonable thought process? behind the answers? Is there honesty in the answers?
Yes, sir.
Is there a concern, a social concern in the answers? There is integrity, honesty, reflecting through it. So that is one that we look for. Like I ask you, why do you want to become? That it will be my personal and professional achievement, right? Instead, don't you think that you're a Stephanian? There must be debates. That don't you think India is as a cusp of making it big economically and in the committee of
Nation.
leaders? We are going to go to the high table.
Yes, sir.
We are set for that. Wouldn't it be better saying that as a young civil servant, I will have the opportunity to align with I will be part of the growth of India's story right now.
Yes, sir.
From 5 trillion economy to one of the top countries in the world, I will be part of that. First, rolling out the policies of the government and then being part of the policy making process.
Yes, sir.
And during the process, serving the people, bettering the processes so that there is an all-round development,
Yes, sir.
right? So you could frame your answer
Better.
instead of your personal and professional. Then I said ki generalist hi to banoge. But here you have, I'm giving you an alternate thought
Yes, sir.
about the answer. Now, where would the questions come from? Your DAF, your subject, education and optional, and the basket of general questions, which is extremely large.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, what happens is that what we noticed is that being your second mock and first interview, you have few issues. One, I found that you don't make an eye contact easily.
Yes, sir.
Now you are making an eye contact with me, but when you were answering, either you were looking at the roof or this board or somewhere, you were not focused.
Yes, sir.
That gave me an impression that you are underprepared, or you felt that you are underprepared. Even when you knew about Kalhan, you were not confident in talking to me in the eyes.
Okay, sir.
So you should be doing that, and also the other board members,
Yes, sir.
right? So your eye contact has to be very good. And you are sitting so tight in the chair.
Okay.
Maybe because of your size, no, but you are sitting so tight, everything is close, your feet together, your knees together, your hands like this, not making a movement. How would you normally sit at home?
Yes.
बैठिए वैसे,
ऐसे ही है.
पीछे होके बैठो तो कुर्सी में पूरा नहीं, पूरा shift the whole body. Do you feel better?
Yes, sir.
Sit erect, yeah, and your hands like this, and you can make use of the hands.
Yes, sir.
You can make use of the hands to make a point. Not that you gesticulate too much, but you can make use of the hand. Right. Your turnout is fine. Your tie needs to be better. It should be in the middle and touching the top of the collar. It has to be tighter. Okay. And Nike socks don't go well with the shoes.
Yes.
Right. You can't wear them. That's a big no.
They are visible now after
yeah.
he is.
Anyway, you need to. No, I could notice this before that also. But brand names should not be.
Yes.
It's also small in height. It should cover. It should be
Yeah,
longer.
they should
The
be-
body part should not be seen below.
Yes.
Yeah. So and shoes should be spankingly clean. That would be. And whenever you didn't found that you didn't have the answer, you were stuttering.
Yes, sir.
And you were answering before thinking. If a question has come to you, take a pause,
Okay, sir.
put your thoughts in order, and then answer. Nobody minds it,
Okay, sir.
right? Nobody would mind it. And wherever you think you are taking long to think about it, just tell the chairman of the board, can I take a second, sir? Can I take a second to think?
Okay, sir.
So that we know that you are not completely lost. You are engrossed in the interview. You are involved in the process of interview.
Okay, sir.
Right? Like you said, you said you have noticed the crime against women is increasing in
Nagpur.
Nagpur. What is this knowledge based on?
Data.
If you don't have the data, you could have said there have been few cases, perceptibly more cases. Then you are saying मुझे data नहीं पता है, लेकिन this is what my impression is, or the newspaper impression is this. So don't make a statement where you commit to knowledge of some source of information, or you have that information, right? And when the question came to you, what will you do in Nagpur or in the state? Now you said that Maharashtra government has launched a scheme for irrigation, but Vidarbha region you never mentioned that the drought is a problem.
So farmer suicide.
No, farmer suicide can be linked to indebtedness also. I know that. I know the answer. But you didn't specifically say that drought is a permanent problem. Irrigation is a problem. So it's a major problem in Vidarbha. Right? And then when you're talking, when he raised the question, what will you do in Nagpur? You should know the HDI, the Human Development Indices of your district and your state.
Okay.
Right? That would do a whole world of good.
Okay, sir.
And I felt that you lacked conviction in whatever you were saying, even wherever you knew it. So you need to practice a lot. You are very young. We would like to see young people getting into the service. So you qualify on that count. But you need to practice your interactions. And what I would suggest is that you have time. Your interview date is not yet available. So make a question bank of about 80 to 100 questions on A4 sheet. From your DAF, from your subjects, and from the general basket. Issues concerning your district, state, India, and neighborhood, or the globe if something is happening there. So you can prepare those questions, not in prose. Answers should not be in prose, but in bullet points.
Okay, sir.
Important is, language should not be a problem, is not a problem for you as I can see.
It's not. I thought
It is not a, no, language. Delivery can be a problem. Delivery of your thoughts may be a problem, but your grammar is not a problem. Your diction is not a problem. Problem is delivery.
Okay, sir.
So you need to work on the delivery. So make a question bank, write the bullet points. In front of friends or family, practice those. Or practice in front of a mirror. How confident you look.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I studied at a Sarkari school. You are a Stephanian, yeah? Well, if you don't nail the interview, who will? So you come with the confidence, solid confidence. Ki, I come from the best institute of the country.
Yes,
I have cracked it. How many people crack it in first go? Right? So you have that confidence and just work on these areas. You should be doing fine.
Yes.
This is what I had to say. My colleagues will.
Yeah, I have two observations.
Yes, sir.
Sumesh has already summed up everything what we also felt as a panel. Two body language issues which was bothering me. One, whenever there's a question which you're not very comfortable with, you would do like this, squeeze your eyes. That's not good. And not one, I observed it a number of times. When
No grimacing.
Okay, sir.
So, you were cleaning face and doing like this. That's not, you're such a smart personality. Don't give this kind of a gesture, you could just, if you do not know an answer, then gulping in your saliva. The two minor observations, these are only body languages which you can always correct. You are, when is your date?
No, not yet.
So you have time.
And don't sit tight, sit relaxed.
Yeah.
I am relaxed.
Acha, okay. All right.
So that's all two observations.
better.
Ah.
Sit like this better.
Okay, sir.
I would only like to re-emphasize some of the points made by Chairman. Also because you could not answer many questions on Sanskrit and other things.
I just panicked, sir. I know the
Yeah,
answer.
no need to panic.
I now know what I was going to say.
All right. So these are the things because you are appearing in the interview for the first time. You are pretty young, and the way to do it is what he has already mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Practice your questions. Look at all the mock interviews that you have done or anything that comes to your mind. Prepare answers, bullet point answers, and you have a wonderful option. Sanskrit literature. How many people know? It's only by chance that I am here in the board and I can grill you on Sanskrit language itself. But it's a wonderful option, and you should be reading basic things. Imagine that people are here to ask you questions on Sanskrit who do not know Sanskrit. What kind of questions can they ask? Even my questions were very generalistic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to ask you quite a few questions, but then there is no time. Prepare on all these subjects bullet points in terms of priority. Practice in front of mirror. Grimacing and other things should be avoided. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have any questions to ask?
Yeah.
Sir, what do I do when I do not remember a term for
नहीं सुना नहीं हमको तो कुछ भी भाई, आपकी बातें नहीं समझ में
Clarity
आई।
is not there.
आपने इतना टिक के बोलो, आराम से मुझे सुनाई तो दे पूरा।
Yes,
हाँ,
Sir, what should I do when I do not remember a word for something? Like I just made up a word, a commiserate, Fisiperius. Those were not the words which I wanted to say, but I was not remembering any other. So
if like Fisiperius came to your mind, I could understand that it's a poor substitute for something. You are groping for the word. I immediately understood that societal tensions using a word Fisiperius, but we can accommodate that much.
okay.
We understand. You're a youngster.
No, what I wanted to say, what should I do?
Practice it. As I said,
Instead of that, you can always rephrase it.
Okay.
If you're not getting it, rephrase it, and the idea is there what you want to convey. So you could convey it and rephrase it. It's all right, rather than getting just stuck up.
practice will make you perfect.
Yeah.
I would say the choice of words will come with practice. So best is make a question bank.
Yes, sir.
If you have a sibling at home or your friends, just
Practice.
put the lamp before them.
Okay, sir.
So let them ask you questions, and gradually with practice, every day you will shine better. You will do better,
Okay, sir.
right? Any other thing you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay, all the very best to you,
All the
Tanmay.
very best.
Hope to see you in the making the cut.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
I'm so sorry for.
No, it's okay.
Remember it for future.
Yes,
Being
sir.
the first time, we want to help you.
Yes, sir.
Our intention is to help you through your interview.
Yes, sir.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.